Hey guys, so I thought I'd do a little video game thingy. So yeah, these are my favorite video games of all time. I've got them over here. But yeah, so I'll do a little review on why you should get it. Yeah, let's begin. BioShock. The original BioShock is it's pretty scary. You don't expect it for like, an underwater little, fantasy world, but it's pretty freaking scary. A really cool story set in like an alternate America in 1960, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 1960. It's really cool, really fun game. BioShock, yeah. In this one, you're actually human. In the second one, you're a big daddy, but this one, you're a regular human guy who gets plasmids and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. You fight Andrew Ryan. You hear about Andrew Ryan in the second one too. Yeah, this is crucial for the story. It makes a lot of things make more sense in BioShock 2. And what a surprise! BioShock 2. This is another one of my favorite games ever made. It's really fun, great story again. This time you're a big daddy, so playability is really awesome. It's first person, just like the first one. Yeah. Moving on. Let's see. I want to make sure I get to my favorite games. This is one of them. Assassin's Creed 2 is probably the funnest game that I've ever played. The gameplay is just so fantastic. You can climb up virtually anything. The story is fantastic. 10 out of 10 for me on this game. This is one of my favorite games. It's beautiful. The graphics, everything. Storyline, especially good. You don't need to play the first one to understand this one. Yeah, really cool game. Playing as Ezio Auditore. That's fun. It sets place in Italy. So you gotta go to Rome and all that. Need to make sure, okay, so this is actually a series. And it's actually a pretty impressive collection I got here. Of my favorite video game series ever made. And what a surprise. It's Resident Evil. Starting off with Resident Evil 5. The gameplay on this, the shooting, everything is fantastic. My opinion is biased, of course, but I have to give this, an easy 11 out of 10. This is my all-time favorite, one of my favorite Resident Evils and one of my favorite Xbox 360 games, without a doubt. Beautiful graphics, amazing game. Really cool story. You don't need to really play the original Resident Evils to understand this one. This one has its own kind of cool story. It takes place in Africa, so that gotta be fun. Yeah, this is super fun. I've done every single level on every single difficulty, including professional. I have every single gun infinite, and I've got the downloadable content for it. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and add me on Xbox Live because it'd be cool to play with you. I definitely I'm on this a lot. So yeah, just tell me who you are and you're from YouTube or whatever, and your YouTube ID, and I'll accept your request. Yeah, and next Resident Evil 4. This game is my favorite game in the Resident Evil series. It's by far the scariest, the best gameplay, I would say. The scariest one, by far. And one of the best stories. I love the story in this. Really cool game. It's with Ada Wong. You kind of switch off between Ada Wong, Leon, and there's like a part where you had to be Ashley. Who's the president's daughter. Yeah, it's a really cool game. Really awesome. Resident Evil 4 deserves that greatest hits on it. Now going through Resident Evil 3 for GameCube. This game is also fantastic. Graphics, I'd give graphics probably a 5 out of 10 actually. Story, it's pretty nice. It's a good story. It talks about it's after the Raccoon City incident and the Mansion Lab incident. So yeah, it's a really cool game. Nemesis scares the shit out of me every time. So yeah, it's a cool game. Resident Evil 2, I don't have much to say about this one. I beat it, you know, it goes by pretty fast if you're devoted to it. It's a fun game. No, don't get me wrong, but graphics, gameplay wise, and all of that included, I've seen better. I've seen better for sure. Yeah, it's still a good game. My favorite from the GameCube series, Resident Evil, the original remake. It's a remake for GameCube, but yeah. Awesome game. You know, there's not much to say about this one either. You know, it takes place with the mansion incident, Raccoon City, you know, stuff like that. And the cool part about this is, I'm surprised they actually did this. The graphics for, what year is this? For a 2002 game. 2002 graphics are amazing for this game. And you compare it to games like Code Veronica or Resident Evil 2, and it's crap, you know. And this, when you look at the graphics in this, they seem like crap. They really do. The graphics are outstanding. They look like 360 graphics almost. Story-wise, you know, they stuck very close to the original PlayStation one, but yeah, really cool. And the cool thing about it, like I was saying, you can play as Jill or Chris, and there's two very different outcomes for both of them. So yeah, it's cool. Resident Evil, the original remake for GameCube. It brings me to Code Veronica. Amazing, amazing game. Graphics, again, are like Resident Evil 2. They're really not that good. But, you know, it's still outstanding. The story, everything about it, you know, it talks about the Ashfords, the Ashford family. So if you played Resident Evil 5 and you're wondering what all those little, you know, there's those little, like, story snippets, like little article things from Resident Evil, like History of Resident Evil. I think that's what it's called. They talk about the Ashford family. That's this game right here. Yeah, Resident Evil Code Veronica. It's a good buy. You know, I paid only $7 for it, and if you have an Edge card, it's cheaper. I'm talking about GameStop. This game, Resident Evil Outbreak. They have several spin-offs, you know, of Resident Evil from the original, like, 5 games. They have spin-offs like Resident Evil Outbreak, File 2, Resident Evil Dead Aim, Survivor, so many. This is my favorite. Out of every single spin-off, this is the best spin-off ever made. Ever. Beautiful graphics, great gameplay. You know, it's a fixed camera again, like all of them, except Resident Evil 5. And you get used to fixed camera, though, you know. I'm used to fixed camera. But yeah, the camera doesn't follow you like a regular third person, even though it is classified as third person. Yeah, that's my Resident Evils right there. And I'm gonna have to get through these really fast, the remaining. Now to go on to the more violent games. Oh yeah, and notice how most of these are M games, so, you know, if you're a kid or something, then these are for you. Oh my god. The best freaking game series ever made. Ever. This is like the best, you know, do-it-yourself type of game. You can do anything in this game. Grandtheftauto 4. You've played it. Everyone's played it at least once. Best game. No more to say on it. Another, you know, extension to Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty Cities. Talks about Gay Tony, you know, in his bar club / thing, and then Lost in the Damned, which was the Lost biker gang, which is cool. It's a really cool story. Both of them, they're pretty short, and there's some nice achievements for them. Grand Theft Auto 3, the best Grand Theft Auto game ever made. I can't say much more. I'm running out of time, but best Grand Theft Auto game ever made. Really good for its price, too. Another, one of the best Grand Theft Auto games ever made. San Andreas, you've heard the game, you've played the game. Awesome. Liberty City Stories wasn't the best. It's an alright story, alright gameplay. A mediocre game. A little bit of a disappointment from the Grand Theft Auto. This is the first Grand Theft Auto ever made for, you know, the major consoles like PS2. The graphics are alright, you know, but the story, I'd have to give the story credit. The story is really good. And then Red Dead Revolver. This is really cool. It's bounty hunting. It's another Rockstar. Bounty hunting, though. It's still pretty cool. That's about it. I'm running out of time. Oh, okay. Bye bye.